Hey guys, this is Chris with Drop Dice. Today is International Tabletop Day, and as a special, I'd like to go ahead and interject myself on a tag video that's going around right now. Since my channel is brand new, no one's probably going to tag me, so I'd like to just kind of jump in here. The video was originally created by Gaming Beast 82. Sean over there titled this video Tag Video 5 RPG Facts About Me, and the links below, I'll have a link to that. Basically, it's just kind of a introduction of who you are beyond what we see on YouTube videos. And so I'll kind of talk about it as kind of my introduction to you guys. As part of this video, I'd like to tag Lloyd over at Jarl GM, Shepe Le Pepe at Font Trodden, Juice from Tabletop Gaming with Juice, Nate from WASD20, Ryan from Nerdarchy, and Barker from Be a Better Game Master. As a side note, I see that Font Trodden has subscribed, so thank you for that, and anybody else that has subscribed just recently. So my 5 facts here. First off, I've never had a chance to play in an Asian-themed game, with the exception of yesterday. For the first time ever, Forest Freelander ran a Japanese-themed game for us. There was only 2 players. It was kind of a small group, but it was a lot of fun. We got to banish an Oni spirit that was released and that is kind of a clan secret. It was a lot of fun, even though it was just kind of a small group of us there. But basically, I bring that up because I love Legend of the Five Rings, or L5R as it's commonly referred to. I've ran it pretty much since I've been a GM and done many other Oriental-themed adventures, whether they're Japanese, Chinese, or even Korean influenced. But I've never actually gotten a chance to do it. I've played samurai that are out of place in a European adventure, but I've never really gotten that chance to kind of explore a genre that I really love. So that was awesome. If you are interested in those kind of games, I know that Jarl DM has done some in both the Chinese and Japanese sphere. And Forest Freelander, if you're part of the Tabletop RPG one-shot group, he will be hosting a Chinese-themed game coming up here soon. So be sure to check that out. And if you're not part of the group, please join us. Fact number 2, I have PTSD. I used to be in the Navy, and because of my experiences, I came out a little damaged. But where this kind of comes back to RPGs is RPGs have served as a venue for me to kind of explore some topics that I'm not necessarily comfortable with just yet in a way that feels safe. It's kind of akin to sitting down in a psychiatrist chair and just talking to somebody. And role-playing games have served a great opportunity for that. In the future, I will do a video of one of my favorite characters that I made, Lotus, who was a character who had PTSD, and originally he was written kind of as a satire, but he kind of developed into really a mouthpiece for how I was feeling. And so it was actually really nice because even though I couldn't necessarily identify how I was feeling, I could definitely play a character who was going through those feelings. And so for a way, it was an easy way for me to retrospect into myself. Like I said, I'll do a video on him because he's an interesting character another time. Fact number 3, I play almost exclusively online. I moved from Boston in 2011 down to Texas, and it is now 2015. I've been playing online for about 4 years now, pretty much on a weekly basis. I mainly use Google Plus and Roll20. Though Roll20 I don't really use for a lot of the tactical reasons. I just like the interface. I like having the dice there, and I like having the different features like the handouts and things like that in there. And we can talk about that another time if we have some interest in Roll20. Yeah, but pretty much exclusively online. I've picked up a couple games since moving to Texas. I just haven't had a regular group down here for whatever reason. Now, fact number 4 is I love structured games. Things like Knights, Samurais, Jedi Knights, any sort of militant group, cultists with rank. I don't know what it is. I really like those. Actually, the more I kind of think about it, I think it might be because there is structure and specialties. I feel like it makes the group kind of flow a little bit better. Basically, you have the person in the group, like let's say Star Trek, for example. You have the captain. You know basically what the captain does, and it gives you a good jumping point for role-playing purposes. And then you also know who the lieutenant is. You also know who the navigator is. You also know who the like logistics officer is. Things like that. And it gives you a kind of a broad range of options to play that you can kind of fit a character in and have kind of a basic rough outline of what your character would be in duty. And then it also lets you explore an option of duty versus personal values, which I always find really intriguing because just like in real life, you'll get in situations where your duty says that you must do this, but your personal feelings get in the way. If I can get a player to feel that in a game, I feel like I've won as a GM. As terrible as that is, I know nobody should win in an RPG, but that's winning in my book. I mean, really, because it's a process where you have to think, would this character break their code, break their rules to be able to do this? And so I guess really I love lawful characters in general. I think that they've got a very strong dichotomy, and you don't really see a lot of players playing that up as much as I'd like to. And so maybe after watching this, you guys will kind of take that in, and maybe I'll see some new lawful characters with some kind of weird decisions to make in the future on videos. Now, lastly, I am not a huge fan of Supers games. I do love comic books. I love DC, um, but I don't like Supers. It's kind of a weird concept. I think it stems from I don't like stuff like Superman. I don't like icons. I don't like paragons, if you will. And I really don't like systems like Mutants and Masterminds where you start as a full-fledged superhero and you are the man or whoever your character is. I love systems where you start as a low-grade hero. You have to discover who you are and move up and become someone. There's not a lot of systems that implement it. The one that I can think of off the top of my head is AMP. Albeit that's a little bit more like Misfits, the TV show, if you've ever seen that, where it's people who get powers that aren't necessarily destined for anything. They're just trying to live their life with these new superpowers. And I like games like that. Again, it's kind of a hard decision concept. You have to kind of feel your way in the world because you got powers, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're the only ones with powers. And so now you have to explore that. With great power comes great responsibility stuff. Um, I think that is more fun. Now, if I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, yeah, I want to watch the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, or even anything like that. And, well, to be fair, I would love to play a Guardians of the Galaxy themed game where you're all a bunch of bandits that are sort of heroes, but maybe not. Yeah, that seems like that would be fun. Um, but those are my 5 big facts there. Thanks for watching today, and have a great International Tabletop Day. And I look forward to seeing you at the table.